We're looking at you.
Good morning, YouTube fans. It's Dr. Matthew Johnson, and it is Sunday morning, September 16th, 2018, 8:19 a.m. in the morning. We have just finished night number 3 at the Southern Oregon Interaction Area, otherwise known as SOIA. And we're going to shoot a real quick testimonial about what happened last night, and then as you'll see as I pan around camp, we're almost packed up. And then we're going to blow this popsicle stand because we have some city slickers that need to head back down to the LA area and one to the Bay area, and then 2 of us real men are driving north to the woodlands of Washington. Ooh-ah. Hey gentlemen.
Good morning.
Morning. So what y'all happened last night? Bubba, get back in there. Okay, so what happened last night, guys?
It was a party.
It was a party.
It was a party. This is Andy Cunningham from Redondo Beach, California. And last night started out with a greeting of probably 10 to 15 beautiful Bigfoot tree people coming out to say hello and greet us all. From all areas, from the front of us, from behind us, to the left of us, to the right of us. There were orbs. It was a beautiful celebration.
Oh. You know, last night there was so much activity and so many different things happened. And as I've come to learn, the different people experience different things in different ways. Some are more visual, some more auditory, some are more tactile, some can sort of feel things. I'm a little bit more in Mike's camp, where I'm not having the same level of visual observations that the others seem to be having all over. However, last night, for the very first time, I did in fact see what appeared to be a part of a body materialize right before us, and it was so dramatic that everyone here all turned their heads and we stared at it, and it was right over here, right behind this area here at the table, and something was here, and this whole part of its body was totally illuminated, this like an arm or something, as if somebody was standing here for that moment in time, just that one piece. But it materialized from just basically dark and table and starlight to a form clearly that you could see. And we were all, I didn't see how high it was, Andy. I only saw what was clearly a visual structure that appeared and then flittered and then went away right here. And that was the very first time that I actually seen something that I was positive was a physical thing that wasn't there the seconds before.
And everybody simultaneously went,
Whoa! Did you see that?
That was a freaking mind blower.
That was a mind blower.
Yeah. So dematerialized could be said. Some people might recognize the words uncloaked, but the shimmering image turned into partial full blood body and then back. And I kind of think that may have been done specially for one individual that has difficulty seeing those kind of things. Do we know anyone here that fits that description?
I can't see anything, but I saw that. that was like amazing. Because these guys are, the ones you can see are saying, there's one here, there's one, they're sneaking up over here and they're all over the place. And I'm like, I'm not seeing anything. And I think somebody suggested to look at the table because all 4 of us were looking at the table. And then to me, it was going from right to left when it either materialized or it was a swooping motion of the body moving. But brownish grayish, instantly you could see it. We all go, whoa! Those shared experiences, those are powerful. That was nice.
Awesome. What else happened, guys?
Well, Joel Kaminskis here from Rainier, Washington.
Where real men live.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, ooh.
And that definitely was, in terms of visuals, probably the greatest thing I've ever seen. And I tend to see quite a bit out here. I had it in a little different spot than you did. I had it actually behind those 2 trees. But what I saw and it was maybe for half a second. It wasn't very long, but it was impactful. I saw what I thought was a buttock and a thigh, and there was nothing above that. So it was just like a partial body part that was moving right to left very quickly, and it was very fleeting. It just popped in and was gone instantaneously. But in terms of shimmering images, red eyes, light phenomena is probably the most active night I've ever seen. At one point, I stopped counting. I couldn't tell where one started and the other ended, and vice versa. There was just red eyes on top of red eyes on top of shimmering images.
And where did you see those images?
Only from like the 12 to all the way around. Other than that, I didn't see anything. And the height, I mean, some people were seeing some things up in the trees. The trees were active.
I could see pops of light
with orbs and pops of light, but it was sensory overload for me last night.
That visualization there was off the charts. For me, for the first time, I actually got to see some glowing eyes, and I've got to see a little shimmer, whereas before I really couldn't see anything. And it just starts to, for me, to start to see some things, and I would point out to Dr. J, hey, is that something? And he'd say, oh yeah, that is something. So I'm beginning to see it takes time for each one of us to develop these senses to be able to discern what you're actually looking at and to enjoy what you're seeing.
The difference with that imagery, though, last night, that visualization we saw, was you didn't need any discernment. There was no anybody with eyes would have seen that piece of material, that image, that piece that materialized or was there. You couldn't miss it. It was unmistakable. You didn't require any special glasses for that. That was right there.
Just to make sure we got the story straight, everybody at the same time went, what?
Whoa!
It was amazing.
And it's also on the audio. I mean,
Yeah.
The whole thing is on the audio.
Yeah, so go to soundcloud.com and look up the Team Squatching USA channel. So, anything else happened special last night?
Yes, they honored
Mike Kincaid.
last night.
Yeah? How? Did he get to do the dishes or what?
Well, according to Matt, I've been adopted as well.
By who?
By Jakut from New York.
Yeah, from upstate New York. People are going, what the? These guys are freaking Looney Tunes. But,
Not when you see a visual like that.
no, exactly.
I have to say before you start,
Yeah.
that, I've been going out here probably for 4.5 years with you. And, I don't get to see all the stuff that you see.
Yep.
I kept on a journey.
Yep.
And everything that you said has been backed up by either me or someone else.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yep.
So,
or
as you relate
footprints.
the rest of this story, I
Yeah.
have no choice but to say, yeah.
Right.
From the 12 knocks on from the Exodus to that visual last night, and all your testimonies and all the people that come and support it, it's just like it's a thing. So.
And that's exactly the point
It's the truth.
I was going to make, is everything that I've been sharing, if people want to scroll down and start with the oldest video and work your way up from there, you'll see that everything I have shared has been backed up by evidence such as fingerprints, palm prints, handprints, saliva samples, 3-foot turds, foot tracks, audio recordings of spoken language, singing, and multiple witness testimony over the last 18 years, including 200 plus people. So, in everything that I have said that Zorth is mind speaking to me has come true. It's been backed up. And including 2 nights ago when Zorth told me, because Mike was a little disappointed walking in the woods, he said, Council of 12, and I want you to tell Mike right now that we appreciate what he's done and we love him, because they knew that he was feeling a little down. And tell him now. So I yell at Mike, and listen to the audio. I yell at Mike, Zorth and the Council of 12 want you to know that they appreciate you and they love you. And then, boom, what happened, Mike?
Oh yeah, the crushing sound of one tromping through the woods down.
Right. Jakut.
Perfectly timed.
Yep, heavy-footed, walking through the forest, perfectly timed, just to let Mike know, because that's the kind of stimuli and evidence that works for Mike right now. They're working on developing their well, not so much auditory senses, their visual senses. And what happened last night that we all saw was pretty freaking awesome right over there. So anyway, so Zorth told me last night that it was a celebration to honor Mike Kincaid. The previous night was the finalization of the adoption ceremony and celebration of Zorth with myself. And then last night was a celebration for Mike Kincaid, who got adopted into Jakut's family. And the Council of 12 consists of 2 elders from each habitable continent around the United States. I'm tired. Around the world. And it does not include Antarctica, which is not habitable. So in North America, we have Zorth and Jakut. And Zorth has adopted me into his family. Jakut, who apparently is from upstate New York outside of Buffalo, adopted Mike Kincaid last night. So we had quite the party and the celebration for him. And as Joel mentioned, we had activity all around camp. Now, guys, as we finish up this video, anything happen around the cot area last night, which is over there, but all the cots are broken down and piled up to be put in the truck? Anything happen, guys?
Yeah,
What?
I got healed.
What do you mean?
Well, they came and worked on me with my prostate again
Okay.
to enable me to pee more.
You have a better urine flow?
Much better urine flow. It started off like a string, and now it's the size of a straw.
Awesome.
And it's absolutely wonderful. It's
The thing us men want.
yeah.
Well,
You gotta go. You gotta go.
anyone who's had struggles with prostate issues would appreciate what Andy is sharing right now.
Absolutely.
So I got nailed with the diagnosis of prostatitis at the age of 35, 21 years ago. And it's been an issue for me until they started working on myself. Anybody else? Anything happen? You hear anything?
Yeah, I heard. So back to the bread and butter. For me, I was up a number of times last night, and I was monitoring all the various snoring. This amazing level of snoring going on here. And, there's some incredible snorers in this group. It's just amazing. Anyway, the audio, SoundCloud.com, Team Squatching USA. You can listen to some of that. But at some point, probably around 3 a.m., as I was laying awake after I used the bathroom, I heard, without any doubt, 5 what are referred to as tree knocks, which sound like, I don't even know how to describe it, but they sound like something hitting a tree at a decimal level that's unmistakable. It's not a walking sound. It's not a flying sound. And I heard 5 tree knocks. I counted them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They were behind my cot, which was over
in this area?
Yeah, so the tree knocks occurred up over in that area, kind of high, not on the ground, but and then that was accompanied by me hearing and more feeling what sounded like, like some foot stomps, maybe, about 6 or 7 or 8 that faded away, and I felt them more than I heard the foot stomps. My cot was parked right up against the brush, and again, that was hearing the tree knocks and feeling and hearing the foot stomps were not aided by any encouragement or any fantasy about them. These were just, anybody else had been laying in that cot, they would have heard 5 knocks. They would have heard these footsteps. It was, sort of bread and butter phenomena that, that anybody would have heard. Same as that visual that we all saw last night.
Yeah. Pop quiz. How many guys were sleeping here last night?
5.
Ah, okay. How many knocks?
Were the knocks that you heard
5.
all identical?
No, they were not identical.
Okay.
No, in fact, they were. The audio will verify
yeah.
because after I heard them, I said that was 5 knocks. This is Bill, so it's on the audio.
Yeah.
Backed up on the audio, but they had a crescendo to them. They were either went from there was a faint 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think they went from faintest to loudest. There was 1 or 2 very loud, and then a lesser loud, and then two other ones. So no, they were different. They
Cool.
were different.
Anybody else have something to share from last night?
For the first time in my cot, I actually feel like I got touched.
Okay.
My right leg was up against the very bottom of my right foot was up against the very bottom of my sleeping bag, and I felt this light tapping on it, and it happened for about 20 or 30 times. It was just rhythmic, and it was just tapping
Cool.
my right foot. I don't remember much after that, though. I think I corked off again, but it was definitely distinct, and I just purposely left it there because one of the few times I wasn't going to freak out by being touched.
Okay.
So,
So when I touch you in the future, you're going to be okay? Just kidding. Anyway, just kidding, Facebook people and YouTube people. So I have a question, Joel. Do you have any ailments in your right foot, your right leg, the right side of your body?
I just noticed a cyst on my right, just below my right knee. Just in
Okay.
the last couple of days.
Okay.
So maybe they were working on that.
Maybe. Okay. So I have something I want to share, which is my cot was right on the other side of this little tree right here. If you look at the other videos, you'll see my cot set up right there. I woke up around 3:45 in the morning, laying on my right side, and t-shirt over my eyes, and I kind of did a mind speak thing, asking them, "Are you going to work on me, tonight? Are you going to work on me?" And they said, "We already did." And I'm like, "You did?" And they said, "Yeah, we worked on your left leg, your prostate, your stomach, and your heart." And I said, "You did?" And they said, "Yeah, look." And I'm like, "At what?" "And the blanket." So I took the t-shirt off my eyes and I sat up, and my blanket, which is a big old lion blanket, got folded over twice, 3 times, 4 times, from the foot of my cot, I might add, up toward me, and then was kind of put off to the side. And the only part of the blanket that was still on the cot was the one that was under my left elbow. So they had folded up my blanket and the other one on top of that and put it off to the side so they could work on me through the sleeping bag. That was pretty cool. And then we had a moment where we needed Andy to remove the tarp from his cot, and he was snoring, which he seldom ever does when he's up here.
Rarely.
Yeah, rarely
Very
ever
rarely.
snores. Matter of fact, we're going to have audio evidence on the SoundCloud.com channel proving that Andy seldom ever snores.
He didn't snore once when he was awake.
When he was awake. When he was awake. So anyway, we're trying to take care of Andy and have him get his tarp off his cot over there. And he finally did. And they wanted his tarp off so they could work on him. And what happened before the tarp came off, Andy, and then after the tarp came off? Before the tarp came off, you were tossing and turning.
And then,
Speaking in tongues.
well,
Yeah.
I woke up about 3 o'clock and I heard all the guys in the camp talking. And Dr. Johnson said to my brother, "Hey, Bill, aren't you your brother's keeper?" And I'm like, "Doc, I can hear you." And he goes, "Take your tarp off. They can't work on you." And I'm like, "Oh, okay." So I took the tarp off. I had a restless night up to that time. And once I took the tarp off, I slept beautifully for the rest of the night.
And they worked on
They
you.
worked on me.
And they also told me, because I asked them later on, I said, "Are you going to work on my friend Andy?" And they said, "We are." As in, right now.
Well, remember when I went to bed and you told me there was 2 assistants waiting by my bed
Yes, yes,
as I got in?
yeah. But they couldn't touch you because of the freaking tarp.
Well, that's the way it works.
Yeah, but now tarp comes off, and they peeled back my blankets, and then I asked, "Are you going to work on my other friends?" And they said, "We'll work on everybody before the sun comes up." So, cool beans. Anything else anyone want to share before we end this videotape?
It was a fantastic, marvelous, and to see what I saw last night was very majestic.
Cool.
Absolutely amazing weekend. Tons of activity. Thank you, Dr. J, for having us. It was just marvelous.
It was
This
unbelievable.
crew was just fabulous to be with.
Good group of guys.
Fantastic group of guys.
Did we drink any Kool-Aid? Yes, Mike?
I didn't see anything.
Yeah. Did we drink any Kool-Aid?
Not too
No.
much. Nope.
Did I hypnotize you?
No.
No. Were
But we
you?
did go to a couple of 1-star restaurants.
God. Yeah. Well, so much for the good group of guys to be with. Okay. So, until next time, gentlemen.
Thank
Until then,
you.
see ya.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.